We've got some breaking Pokemon news for you. First up, a new Pokemon Presents is coming, although it's a little ways away, being on July 22nd at 6 a.m. Pacific time. They don't tell us anything more about what will be in it, but we probably know at least one thing, likely being Pokemon Legends Z2A, or ZA, whatever, ZA. I like ZA. In any case, we actually have a release date for this now. You'd think it might have been in the Pokemon Presents, I'm sure it will be as well, but we know it early in advance now because they just announced it on Twitter, being, again, October 16th, 2025. We also got a look at the box arts here for both the Switch 1 version and Switch 2. I much prefer the Switch 1 version, but, you know, hey, they both work. You know, I mean, how often do we really even look at the box once we even have it? In any case, Switch 1 is supreme in this case. So yeah, Pokemon Presents coming up, release date October 16th, and box art's confirmed. Now, one other thing, real quick, before we move on to another news piece I previously recorded for something else in the Switch update that came out last night, is the fact that we now know the release date for Pokemon Legends ZA. That actually helps inform us a little bit more of what the rest of the year is going to be for Switch 2, because we didn't know what was happening in October, and now this answers the question. So assuming Nintendo sticks to one game per month, that likely means titles like Metroid Prime 4 and Kirby Air Riders, which currently do not have release dates, will likely avoid that month and possibly come out in September or August. I know my months. August, September, or maybe even November. Unlikely to be December, though it is possible, but Pokemon is usually the title to fill in that gap, and I'm guessing there just won't be a December title this year, though, you know, there could still be. So that's it for Pokemon, so let's go move on to the previously recorded Switch feature I was telling you about. So it turns out that new Switch update that just came out last night, being version 20.1.0, might have a little bit more to it than it seemed at first glance, because even though it only had 2 real patch notes, which we showed off last night, as it turns out, there's been a few more changes too, at least as it pertains to one specific app, being the Switch Online app, which, as we showed last night in the video, has a new sound effect. Hear that? Matches up with the Switch 2 now. But beyond that, the entire app has been updated. So let's go and venture inside and check it out. And that begins with having to agree to the new agreement. How exciting, isn't it? Or the updated agreement, I guess. So we agree. Nintendo probably owns us now. Do you see it already? Do you see it? There is a brand new dark theme, which is going to tell us about in a few seconds here. But first off, there's a new welcome screen too, which only pops up once. It says, hello, welcome to Nintendo Switch Online. Let's start enhancing your experience on Nintendo Switch 2 and Nintendo Switch. I like how Nintendo Switch 2 now takes precedence over Nintendo Switch. So here is our new home menu. It now supports the dark theme. So if you change your Switch to, if you're using the dark theme on your Nintendo Switch, the Switch Online app now finally matches. After years, it finally matches the rest of your Switch. Thank goodness. And if we actually go to... there should be there actually should be a whole, here we go, there it is, there's a whole update about it. The dark theme, the basic dark theme is now supported. So if we click into it, we can see how you can change it via system settings. There's a picture there that actually shows the difference. So, in fact, let me get myself out of the way here so you can better appreciate that. Look at that. So yeah, I'm all about dark themes. I'm always using them, so I'm a big supporter of this, even though I never actually use this app itself. It also talks about the new menu design. And let's back out here. Let's see what else there is. So it's telling us how we can swap themes in the menu between basic white and basic black. So again, it seems so far that Switch 2 is going to have the exact same 2 boring menu themes. Exciting. You can change colors of the icons. I think it's showing how the top left does change based on your icon to what section you're in. And we can see even more of that here. So cool, I guess. I probably would have never noticed had they not pointed it out to me. I did hear that one of the sound effects changed too. I could be wrong. Someone in our community told me about this, and I think it might be for this section. So let's check. Was that new? I don't know. I think that sounds the same to my memory. Maybe it's a different sound effect that changed, but I almost never use this app anyway, so maybe it did change and I have no idea. Now, there is another big change here, or I guess not that big, but in this app, everything's a big change. Being, they renamed this section, that one up there, the Nintendo Classics. It didn't used to be called that. Instead, it used to be called, I think, just NES, Super NES, and N64, and whatever else. It didn't have room for the full title there. So, if that image is correct, the one I'm looking at is a previous version, I believe. So, yeah, they totally updated it. It makes more sense now. We knew this was coming. And yeah, just a little bit more elegant than that cumbersome title they seemingly had before. Otherwise, I don't know how much of this part they actually rearranged. This does seem kind of cool, though. I like the timeline that they have here. Per system, by the way. That may have been there before or not. I have no idea. But let's go check out the GameCube, at least. we know is going to be new. So, yeah, we can see the first 3 games, which we already knew, with Mario Strikers probably coming up not long after, since that was at the Switch 2 Dallas event I went to. Let's see, is there anything else really new about this app? Unfortunately, I so rarely use this app. If there was anything else that really stands out, I don't think I would even notice. But we'll go through some of these sections real quick, let you know, or so you can see if there's anything different. You got the save data cloud here, see all your backed up saves or whatever, which was there before. We got the expansion pack, and yeah, so I mean, it's a nice little refresh, even though it's an app I never really use. I don't know if I ever will continue to use it, because, or I guess I'll continue to not use it. And look, I've been on the family membership plan for almost 5 years now. Where does the time go? And Switch 2's almost here? This is crazy. So that's pretty much it for us, everyone. Thanks for watching. Of course, stay tuned to GameXplain for more on Switch 2 and Switch 1 if there's anything else left to cover, and we'll catch you later. Bye, everyone.